Having a good credit score makes your life a lot easier, whether you're just trying to buy a car or whether you want to get into real estate investing. Having a solid or good credit score makes all that a lot easier. So let's talk about that in this video. So you can do a lot in real estate investing with a bad credit score. You can wholesale, you don't need credit or any money for that. You can fix and flip, and you can use other people's money that don't check your credit score. You can buy a property and fix it up and sell it. But if you want to hold long-term rental properties, you do need to have a decent to good credit score. And guess what? Holding long-term rental properties is the path to being wealthy passively through income, not having to actively be flipping, actively be wholesaling every single month to make money. Once you have a built up rental portfolio that passively pays you every single month, you have the freedom to do whatever you want. You can retire, you can keep working, you can do whatever. So the end goal is to have a passive income stream through rentals. You need a good credit score to do that, so let's get you a good credit score. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about a time when I didn't have the best credit score, but before I do that, make sure to stay to the end to Maisie's joke of the day. Also give this video a thumbs up right down there. Just click it, tap it, smash it, whatever you wanna do. Thumbs up right over there, please do that. And also, we are doing a monthly Zoom call giveaway where I'm going to be doing a one-on-one for 1 hour for free with one of you all that is watching this video. And how you get entered into that is just by commenting on this video and every other video that comes out this month. So at the end of this month, I'm going to pick a name out of a virtual hat in the comments, and we'll contact you, and we'll do a 1 hour free Zoom session where I kind of dig into your business and help you the best I can. We've done it a couple times and it's been awesome. If you have a low credit score, it could be just that you're young and establishing yourself, or it could be something that, you know, not your finer moments and something happened, or it could just be a screw up in the system like what happened with me. I was in college, went to the doctor, I was on my parents' insurance, they paid it, but the bill got mixed up at the hospital and they applied to the wrong account, and we had no idea. The first time I checked my credit a few years later, it was 620, so not super low, but pretty low, when we didn't even do anything wrong. And you can tell them, you tell the credit card companies, and tell anybody that, you know, we didn't do anything wrong here, it wasn't our screw up, but they don't care. All they look is your credit score. So there's lots of different reasons why your credit score could be low. Let's forget the past, let's talk about the future and things that you can start to do to build it. Credit is simply a measure of your ability to pay and your willingness to pay. That is all it is, a measure of those two simple things. And the funny thing about all that is banks love to give money to people that have good credit that don't necessarily need the money. People that have cash in their account, people that make a lot of money that don't necessarily need credit. Banks love to lend to those kind of people. The people that just need a little bit of credit to get out of the hole and that are going to do good with it and going to, you know, pay it back and, you know, aren't going to default on it by any means. Banks have trouble lending to those and don't like to do that. So that's kind of just a little twist in the system that we're going to help you overcome. So having a good credit score helps your personal, you know, buying a house, buying a car personally, but also can help your business. So let's talk about how we can help you with that, and it can help your whole life from business to personal. Having good credit scores, not like going to the gym and pumping out a bunch of good reps, or, you know, just doing something, you know, once every few weeks or once a month, or, you know, just going all out at a short period of time. It's a subtle long-term game. It's having good posture. It's, you know, slowing down or stopping at yellow lights. It's not speeding. It's just doing the right thing all the time, and slowly, gradually, you will build your credit from, you know, if you're young and don't have credit, and if you have bad credit, you can start to dig yourself out of that hole. So let's talk about some specific things that you can do to start to dig yourself out of that hole, because it's not going to happen overnight. You're not going to get a 200 credit score point boost in 30 days. But guess what? The goal, let's get 5 this month, let's get 10 next, let's get 15 the next, let's get 10 the next, just slowly building it by doing the right things. And here's some of the things you can do. The first thing you can do is get a secured credit card. Now they're easy to find, just Google secured credit cards, Visa, MasterCard, all the companies have them. What those are is those are cards that you pay into, like you put $500 on the card. It's almost like a debit card, but it's not, because you're showing the ability to pay ahead of time and then pay it off. So you put $500, you load it on the card, almost like a preloaded gift card, but it's not, it's a credit card, and it goes through the credit card companies. You put $500 on it, then throughout the month you use it to pay for things, and then when it gets low, you got to keep track of it, you put another $500 in. So it's not like something you have to put $10,000 in. You can maybe put $200 or start low, but you put money on it. The credit card companies see that you have the ability to put money on it, and then as you start to pay it down, you're responsible enough to track that and then reload it back up. So that is the first thing you can do that will start to build your credit. The second thing to do, and this is pretty hard, but you gotta stop the bleeding. You have to stop the bleeding now. And how you do that is you start to pay your bills on time. Do what you need to do to pay your bills on time. Now, this one's pretty obvious, but this is one of the main things you look at and that people look at when they see your credit score, which I'm getting ready to talk about your actual credit report, but is being late or delinquent on payments. So stop the bleeding, and how you do that is start to pay your bills on time. If that means getting rid of your Netflix service, getting rid of your Hulu service, not buying the next iPhone that comes out, whatever that means, it requires some discipline. But the bills that you do have that you need to pay and that are requirements to pay for you to do whatever you're doing, live or rent or whatever you're doing, you need to start to pay those on time. It takes discipline if you're not used to doing that, but you need to do it. That will stop the bleeding, and that will start you on the path of having your credit report looked at with a bunch of green checks and not a bunch of red X's. Speaking of credit reports, is you need to get a copy of your credit report. There's companies you can pay to do that, or you can just go online. Yeah, just type in credit score report, and there'll be ways that you can do that, but you need to look at it and see what's on there. Part of improving is part of knowing what's on there. I mean, you can that was me sticking my head in the sand. You can stick your head in the sand and not see what's on there, and that's kind of human nature. I know it's bad, but I don't want to look at it. Eventually you'll get it better. That's not the way to do it. You need to see it, you need to understand it, and you need to analyze it, because guess what? Every time you apply for something, or you will apply for something in the future, there is going to be people analyzing it and looking at it. So the fact that they are going to be looking at it, you need to know what's on there. You need to know exactly where you need to improve and where you don't need to improve maybe. So get that report, look at it, study it. It's gonna be kind of nerve-wracking, especially if your credit score is low, to look at it, but you need to be looking at it. All right, the next is to contact a credit repair company. That's actually what I ended up doing. When I got my first house, I ended up being able to close because it was in the low sixes, like I talked about earlier, but I had to pay a higher interest rate. I couldn't quite get the loan that I wanted to get on the property. We had to do some fancy footwork at the end to make it work. I did hire a credit repair company. There's a bunch of them online. I'm not gonna have a specific one to give you right now, but just look them up. There's several online. Look at the reviews. Talk to people who have used them before. Look at the Google reviews or Better Business Bureau reviews. Make sure you're looking and doing some research before you spend the money. But it was well worth it. It wasn't a ton of money. I think it was a few $100. And they took my report and they sent me an exact package of what to do. They typed out the letters for me. I signed at the bottom of them, I mailed them myself, and I sent them to the 3 credit bureaus. So they kind of do all the legwork for you, but it costs a little bit of money, but it is well worth it, because that gave me, I believe, I don't want to misspeak, but I think that gave me a 50 to 60 credit score boost pretty quickly within a couple months. So that was a little jump. But as I did that, I started to do these other things after the fact to make sure that I was going to continue to keep growing it. So pay a little bit of money, it's worth it, I promise. So the last one is the 5th one. It's kind of like 4A. It kind of ties in with what I just said. But dispute the errors, because there can be errors. That's the issue. There was an error on my credit report. I did not do anything wrong to get my credit score, dropped a couple hundred points that I didn't even know was happening, because I was young and I didn't have a good credit score to help lift it up. I just kind of had nothing, and it dropped quite a bit at first. So disputing the errors, because there definitely could be errors. A lot of the stuff is potentially accurate, but some of it's not. So you can dispute your errors through different sources, or hiring that credit repair company like I just talked about in the last step. All right, here's Maisie's joke of the day. It's a quick one, so you got to pay attention. It takes guts to be an organ donor. All right, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.